This is Furkan here and welcome to Leo Tutorials. This is our second tutorial on Introduction to Programming. If you don't know anything about program or programming languages, then I'll suggest you to watch my first tutorial before this. Anyway, let's get started. So the main goal of this tutorial is to tell you about the types of programming languages. As we discussed before, there are two types of programming languages, low level languages and high level languages. So what are the low level languages? The languages which are close to the machine. The machine don't have any ambiguity in understanding these type of languages because these languages are easily understandable by the machine or the computer. To learn these languages, we have to get complete knowledge of computer architecture first. Like we should know about what is RAM, what is ROM, how CPU execute any instruction, how CPU stores data into the main memory or any other memory. So we have to get the detailed knowledge of the machine architecture. These are also machine dependent languages in the sense that if I have write a program in the low level language in Intel processor, and if I try to execute this program which is written in Intel processor to the other type of computer, then it will not execute because the Intel processor have different instruction set and the different computers have different instruction set. So these are machine dependent. There are two types of low level languages, machine languages and assembly languages. So what is the machine language? The language which is directly understandable by the machine. Like the instructions in this language are in the form of zeros and ones in the binary form. So these languages are very difficult for human to understand and very difficult to learn because human understand or human write in only English like words in the decimal number system, but the computer understand in only binary number system in zeros and ones. So it is very difficult for human to understand. It is also known as first generation programming languages because in the first generation the systems developed like the ENIAC, UNIVAC uses vacuum tubes which works in the sets of on off circuits. So that computers works in the machine language environment, zeros and ones. Today computers still use machine language, but we will figure out how we will gonna work with the computer because computer understand machine language and we understand English like words. So we will figure out this later. So what is the assembly language? Instructions are written in the form of English like words, mnemonics. What do you mean by mnemonics? Mnemonics are English words, are the abbreviations of English words. So this language is also known as symbolic language because this language use meaningful abbreviations of English words, mnemonical form. So the example is like if I have to do the operation of addition. So instead of writing a complete word addition as a whole, I can write add in short. So add is the symbolic form of addition. And if I have to load a program, so with instead of writing a load as a whole word, I can write L in short. That means load a program. So this language use symbolical form of English words. So as I have told you that computer only understand binary language, only understand machine language. So how computer will understand assembly language? We use an assembler program which converts assembly language program into machine language program. The assembler program will pick an instruction of assembly language, assembly instruction, the instruction in symbolic form, and will convert this instruction into the set of zeros and ones. And these set of zeros and ones or binary form can be executed by CPU easily. So we use assembler program to do this task. So what are the high level languages or what are the human readable languages? The languages which are very close to human or the user or the programmer. These languages write instructions in the form of English like English words. So these languages are very easily understandable by the user. does not requires the deep understanding of the machine architecture, because these languages not work on the form of zeros and ones, so we don't have to understand the complete architecture of computer. We just have to understand little bit about the computer architecture. These are also known as machine independent languages, because these languages don't depend on the machine type. If I have written a program in the Intel processor, and if I try to execute this program into the other type of computer, then it will execute easily. So these are machine independent languages. The instructions in these languages are not directly executed by CPU, because CPU execute only binary form, and these languages are in the form of English words. So what we will do, we will use a translator tool, we will use a translator program which convert the instructions in these languages into the machine language, into the computer readable form. So there are many types of these languages: C, C++, Java, COBOL, BASIC, etc. So what we have learned so far, we have learned about what are the low level languages, the languages which are close to the computers. What are the types of low level languages? There are two types: machine languages and assembly language. Machine languages are in the form of zeros and ones in the binary form, and easily understandable by the computer. All the computer only understand the machine language, and the assembly language is works in the mnemonical form, in the symbolic form. What are the high level languages? The languages which are very close to the human. Human use the languages, the high level languages to write instructions, and then these instructions are converted into the into the machine readable form. So this is it for the second tutorial. Stay tuned for my next video, and don't forget to subscribe me.